Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. Winter time is upon us. That means that we're going to be working in the shop quite a bit more. Well, winter isn't here yet, but got our first snow flurries and everything. Starting to feel like winter outside. Starting off the video here at kind of where I'm going to end it. This is how far we've made it in this video so far. We're going to have a three-part series on this winter's pulling tractor build. This is going to be the heart of the build, and I guess this is an unveiling video too. I've got a D-19 diesel chassis. This is a 426 Allis Chalmers big block that we're going to cram into the frame rails of that D-19. I'm going to put 18 434s on it, and we're going to let her eat, see what happens. So this is how far we made it so far. This is the engine that I got up at the salvage yard, the Allis salvage yard there. If you guys have seen that video or not, I'll put a link below to a description of that video if you want to see where it all started, where I got the chassis and the engine. But was a fun process getting here to this point. And I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, we're about to pull the head off of this thing for the first time. You guys get to see what's inside of it at the same time we do. Ready?
Whoa, whoa. Caught on that puck. Let's pick it up. Hold on. What? Look at the rust. Definitely a sleeve job.
Yummy.
Yep, been outside for a while.
Yeah, I've been sitting. So, it's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. I tell you what though, when this thing was parked there, there is no lip there. I mean, I can't even get my nail to grab anything. Same there, there's nothing. They look like they were brand new. Scared to know what the crank looks like. We're gonna find out though. Stick around. Oh, hey, I'll bring you over here to look at these. What's these looking like? Got that rubber mallet. Let's see if these all move quick. Interesting little trick. Hey, that one moved. Hey, that one moved real nice. Cool. Let's see if this one moves. It don't wanna. That's crazy. All the other ones moved, Tom? Good. Yummy. So the pistons are out of this thing. They're all stuck. New rings and everything coming. Next step is getting the sleeves out. It's coming. So the block has been power washed off and drying it out now. I'm gonna bring it back in and oil everything back down so it doesn't rust, flash rust. And then I'll bring you in and show you what the sleeves and the pistons look like. So this is why I got new rings. We didn't even try to take them off of there. I just decided it best to get new ones. they are stuck. So anyway, we're just gonna try PB Blaster, mainly because I don't have diesel fuel right now and I don't feel like going up to the barrel and getting some. So I'm gonna do a PB Blaster test on them, see what happens. It is an exciting day here in the shop. We got parts for our 426 project here. Go over what all we got. For the engine, new bearings in it all the way around. These are obviously the rod bearings, cam bearings, which I got a friend coming to do that. I'll get you some footage of that. Main bearings, I got the O-rings because we're replacing them, the liners, new rings, and then new crank seals. This rear crank seal here is actually for a 301. I'll explain why I had to do that here in a minute. Lower end kit, upper end kit, which basically making a full kit, gaskets, new pressure plate. This is a 6-pad disc. The average 191 would have a 4-pad disc in it, and I opted for the 6-pad. Head gasket, obviously. All the bearings are 10 over as well. But let me get back to this. This one I accidentally bought. This is extra. It came in that kit. Whatever. I should have known better, but this one I knew that I was going to need either way. Which that's, like I said, for a 301. The reason that being, here is the crank over here, which is freshly turned. 10 over on everything. But this right here. So I had to have this shaved down to accept a 301 flywheel so that it would fit in a 19 chassis. Because there's no way you're getting a flywheel and stuff from 426 in the 19 chassis. It's not going to happen. Torque tube isn't big enough. Not enough steel to take out. So anyway, that was my solution, which I brought that to the local farm machine shop that does most of our work, and they did that for me. And then I brought this to a different machine shop to get it turned, and they did a good job on it. Good price, I guess is what I should say, when you know. So anyway, parts are in. So that means we get to start working on this thing. I'll explain a little bit more in detail once we get that up there, and a little bit more about the flywheel situation. And when the flywheel comes, I don't have that yet. That's still on its way. That was ordered from a different company. So stick around. There's a lot more to come on this project. Here's the block. Just getting ready to clean the sleeves up and clean that up really good inside of here and down in our O-ring mounting surface, and slap them sleeves in. Alright, so I'm here. I got to clean up these sleeves a bit. You can see the rust built up on them. It's important to get all that stuff off of there, obviously for the heat transfer and everything. And there's some really bad pitting. If it was an engine that I was going to be using on the farm, I'd probably get new sleeves. But you probably hear me say this more than once during this build. This is just a pulling tractor. It's not going to be seeing a lot of hours, and most of the hours that it does see are not going to be under a load. So I'm not worried about much pitting as long as it doesn't go through, and I don't believe that to be the case. So I got it here. I'm gonna clean them up on the wire wheel, and then I've got some hot water and purple power down there. Pretty strong concentrate of that to mix up, or mixed up, that we're gonna clean the cylinders out with. So That's what it'll look like when I get done. You can see there is some pitting on it, which, I mean, even if it was a tractor that I was going to farm with, that'd last quite a few years with that little bit in it. But either way, it's hot spots that are going to happen inside of that cylinder and everything where all those fittings are and stuff. So if you're something you're really going to be working, it's something you got to look at. But I'm going to get these cleaned up and I'll bring you back. Bob's over here cleaning the block, scraping that off and cleaning the inside of the surfaces there for us. So once you get them down to that point, just push it into that point with your hand. It takes a couple of, there it is, you can hear it sounds different. Right there. Sleeve installed. There we go, sleeves are in. Ready to be honed. Never did show you guys the cam bearings. They're all like that on the way out. We tore it up with the cam, which is right here. There's a, I'll get this out and I'll show you what that did. So a lot of you guys have been watching the channel, have seen me use this before, but got quite a few new subscribers and figured I'd show you guys this. This is a valve keeper tool made by a company named Lyle. Pretty simple tool for removing valve keepers. That's that. When you put them back on, then you put this on there, and that pushes in the valve stem, presses them keepers back into it then. So it's a pretty handy device. Wasn't very expensive either. Magnet in here, you get the, so you don't lose your keepers, which is nice too. That's that. Made it down here with my buddy Matt. He's got his dial bore gauge in there and checking where we're at. I'll get it honed out. I'll bring you back when we start doing that. That honer's a little bit nicer than the cheap one I got, I tell ya.
I've followed the junkyard for years and years.
So while he's doing these, I'm going to show you before and after this one. Cleaning them up. What's that, the fine hone there? Yeah. Yep. Getting back and show you what the inside looks like when it gets done. So that's what we ended up with. It's not perfect. but it'll be just fine. Good crotch hatching in there, and we're still within specs of what the book says, so we're good to go. But here's the next thing we're here for. Replacing some cam bearings, so bring it back in a sec. I need to get me one of them right there.
Can't remember the game for us one all bad. I kind of buddy of mine I used to borrow his, and well, when he went to college in 1876, all the O-rings are getting dried up and shot on, so I finally broke down and got one.
Five down, one left. I'll bring you guys along for this one. Most important part is getting your oil ring lined up.
Let's check it. We're going a little bit further on this. Oh. Just a love tap. One more.
I'll take a move that.
Oh.
There it is.
Well, maybe.
On a little bit.
Yeah, that's about as good as we're gonna get her.
Get centered to me.
You got a plug that goes in this back? A freeze plug? Or anything come out of there?
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
It's just the end of it. You know.
Because I know the WD's got a freeze plug that goes in there.
No, there's a seal in the cover
Okay.
there, but I'm gonna have to do something because it's gonna be a 301 cover on there now.
Okay, maybe let's go just a little tap in there, because I see there was a mark in there, kind of a wear mark where the bearing was, or a weather mark. Okay.
I think it moved the first time.
One more. Just. Oh, that should be squared up pretty good. Yep.
All right.
I don't think we want to.
Pretty simple when you got the right tools. So here's the most awesome tool. Every shop should have one of these sitting on the bench, if you ask me.
They're handy.
You're just squaring the stone up there, Matt? Yep. Anybody that doesn't know what this is, it's a valve grinding machine. I'll bring it back once it gets the valve in there and starts grinding it.
Touch of fit.
any of you guys that might be curious, the angle on these is 30 degrees on both of them. And he set the machine up and off camera obviously, but that's that process. I'll bring you back when they're all finished. Well, I guess you need a before and after.
I'm gonna take it just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more he's got to take off for the after. And there's after. Good as new. Now 426, these are two-piece valves. They're forged together right there. Forge welded, heat welded, however they do it, or what do you want to call it. But again, like I said, you're going to hear me say this numerous times throughout this build, this is a pulling tractor. It's not going to be seeing a lot of hours, and I guess if it breaks a valve, that's what I get. So he's setting up for the other part of the valve process here. Putting the angle on the stone.
Now we'll take one of those.
So then he put a put the die on it, spin it around, see what everything looks like.
Get a nice seat line on it.
So that's that. Go through and off we go.
Let's just say we'll call this one
Number 1. These are some pretty fancy tools, Matt. I'm a little jealous. eBay specials. All right. So here's one that didn't quite get ground enough, and that's why he checks them afterwards. You see right there where there's no die on it. That's where you tell that you're not getting a seat on it. So give her a little bit more and rinse and repeat. Alright, so the flywheel has made it today. I ordered this off of eBay. It was about half the price of a new one. That was included the shipping. It's still within specs, so that's nice. But I was gonna have this resurfaced, but looking at it here now that I got it, I don't really see any reason to. I'm just gonna clean it up, put it back together. One thing I need to do to modify this, if you look, the 190 takes 4 bolts and then 2 pegs, and I got the crank done with 6 bolts. So I have to drill that out, which is nothing new to me because I had to do the same thing on this engine. Same way, 190 flywheel that I put on it. Took the 2 pegs, had to drill them out. But with a good bit, this really drills like butter. So here's this camshaft. You see right here, it's just kind of a blemish. There's another one right there. That's just, you can feel it with your finger, and that is what scratched the bearings on the way out, because that's the back one. Obviously it's got to come out that way through all of the bearings. So I'm gonna say this again, this is a pulling tractor. I'm just gonna take a file and file that down, call it good. Alright, so we got everything cleaned up inside of this block, and we're happy with the condition of it finally, that we're starting to put things back together. Right now he's putting assembly lube on the lifters here. Let me see this is what we're using. Napa assembly lube. So here's the crank. Or the crank. This is the cam, obviously. But anyway, give you guys a little before and after. That one wasn't too bad, but before and after. That's all I'm using for this. Working pretty good. I'm going to keep after it. I'll bring you back when we're installing it. So I'm just setting new bearings in there, doing the uppers. I polished this out with my 5000 grit polishing stuff and blew everything out, all your oil passages. Make sure you blow them out with air. Don't put oil in here. Something that I've seen a lot of guys do, but not supposed to have anything in there. Mainly because of heat transfer. Hear me say heat transfer like 100 times already throughout this one video, but them nice and lined up, and there it is. Get some assembly lube on there. Get the crank opened up. We'll bring you right back for that. Okay, so got all the bearing shells in. Got assembly lube on them. Here's the other halves, assembly lubed up. Got light oil on all of the bolts here. This is what use on that, just light oil that's going to give you some lubricant without changing your torque specs. So made sure everything was clean, polished up under these. Like I said, this, you want to make sure that there's no dirt in there because you change the size of your bearings. Oil in there, anything that you see in there, contamination stops heat transfer, and it's just bad, okay?
If you got oil underneath of there, it makes it, it
prevents heat transfer is the biggest thing.
and then it fucking can permit the fucking bearing to spin, which isn't good. Exactly.
You want them bearings to be stuck in there. So we gotta cut the crank out of its blankie.
No, that's cocoon.
Out of its cocoon, okay. So we gotta cut it out of its cocoon, put it in the engine so it can become a beautiful butterfly.
I don't know. It's gonna fly away when we fire it up.
I don't know.
To the moon.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, it is crank time. Maybe.
You can spin it, do whatever you want.
Yep, I was just finding a happy spot. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Beautiful. Okay. All right, so now we're going to install the caps here, the thrust flanges. Pretty simple on this. Pegs, your ridge goes in. Just like that. And the same with the ones down here, they're not held in on any pegs, they're kind of a pain, but then got your numbers. In this engine, the numbers always face the camshaft. Pretty simple engine to put back together, honestly. So anyway, that's that. I'm going to set them on here and then get the bolts in and bring it back. Alright, so now we're getting the bolts in here. Now we're not going to torque these down quite yet. We're going to snug them up. Then we're going to force that crank back and forth just to get all these caps lined up with themselves. So I'm going to get all these in, get them snugged up, and I'll bring you right back. Basically now just taking a pry bar here. We got them snugged down just so that they're down in, you know, snugged in the spot, obviously. Just going to pry it either way. Just basically move all the end play on it. Both ways a couple times. I'd say we probably got it. Basically what that does is just gives everything a chance to kind of lay into spot anything that's getting twisted up. So now all that's left is torque them down. 170 foot-pounds. I think you guys need to see us running a torque wrench, so I'll bring you back when we're putting the camshaft in. Alright, first spin of the torque down crankshaft. You never spin a crank until everything's torqued down. Your bearings aren't round at that point. Just stress spots you can avoid. No reason to spin it, so fingers crossed. Oh, it's like butter. Turn that, Bob. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, we like it.
Yes.
All right, now we got to get the front mounting plate on, which I've got cleaned up already and ready to go, and then camshaft's going in. All right, camshaft time. You can notice or not, the timing cover or the front mounting plate is on. We're just gonna go ahead and slide this on in there. Got assembly lube on all of the contact surfaces, the bearings and the camshaft.
Easy.
And on the lifters, everything's going to be moving at startup is getting engine assembly lube. So, got to make sure to get this timed right, obviously, when I put it back. Got the crank in a good spot. So get into this next bearing here, we can get her spun and just get started. Well, I just want to get. There we go. All right. Find the dot. There we go. Ta-da! All right. We'll get this in and I'll bring you back for the first spin on this one. All right, it's not the first turn because I had to turn it to get the bolt tightened up for the cam, but that's beautiful. Very minimal effort. So that's that. All right, so this is how far we made it. Next video we're going to be putting the rest of this together, heads on it and everything, and getting everything sewn up and starting to get some of the accessories on it. And then we're going to start mocking it up into the chassis. I'm not sure how far the next video will go, but I hope to, in the next video, at least have this engine mated up with that chassis. So appreciate everybody for watching. There's a lot more to come in the shop this season, and just this WD-45 engine is coming in probably before this project is done. Not probably. Frankie, I'm going to look at a Series 1 190 that has the same hydraulic setup on it so that I can trace everything, and then hopefully we can get that thing out of here. Shh, don't tell anybody, you know, knock on wood. But I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Hope to catch you on the next one, and hope you enjoyed this episode.